My boss made me fire my best friend. But then I found out why. I, 25F, work at a small marketing agency where everyone pretends we're a family. Translation: long hours, low pay, and fake smiles. My best friend, Jordan, 26M, started working there 6 months ago. We were unstoppable together. Our campaigns crushed every metric. Then last month, my boss, Erica, called me into her office. "You're doing amazing," she said, fake sweet as always. "But Jordan, not so much. I need you to let him go." I froze. I had to fire him. I begged her to reconsider. She said, "You want to move up, right? Prove your loyalty." I didn't want to do it, but rent was due, and Erica's promise of a promotion hooked me. So I did it. Jordan looked betrayed but said nothing, just packed up his desk and left. That night I couldn't sleep. The guilt was eating me alive. I texted him to meet up, but he didn't respond. Then at 2 a.m., my phone buzzed, an anonymous number. It was a screenshot of an email. From Erica to CEO subject, covering up the leak, the body said. Had to pin it on Jordan before she figures it out. My blood ran cold. The email was time-stamped the day before I fired him. I confronted Erica the next morning. She just smiled and said, "Be careful who you trust, sweetheart. Not everyone who gets a promotion keeps it." That night, Jordan finally texted back. Just 3 words, "Check your laptop." I opened it. There was a single new folder on my desktop named Truth. I clicked and froze. The folder on my laptop was called Truth. I sat frozen, staring at it while the glow from my screen lit up my tiny apartment. My heart hammered so hard I could hear it echo. Jordan's text still blinked at the top of the screen. "Check your laptop." I clicked. Inside were dozens of screenshots, recordings, and files labeled by date. The first one opened into a recording, my boss Erica's voice. No, she doesn't suspect anything. I made her fire him. That should keep her busy. Then another voice, deeper, male, calm. I realized it was Mr. Klein, our company's CFO. Good. If she looks into those transactions, we're finished. You handle her. I'll handle Jordan. My throat went dry. Transactions, handle. I replayed it twice to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. Jordan had always managed the ad metrics. He'd once joked that half of our budget seemed to disappear between billing and reporting. I thought it was just incompetence, but hearing that recording, I realized he'd probably found something. The next file was a spreadsheet. Column after column of marketing expenses sent to a shell company, Silverleaf Consulting. Each invoice had Erica's digital signature. Every payment date lined up with a campaign Jordan and I had worked on. They were stealing company money. Hundreds of thousands. And they'd framed him to cover it up. I sat back in my chair, shaking. My phone buzzed again, another message from the anonymous number. "Now you understand. Meet me tomorrow. 9 a.m. Park bench by the fountain." No name, but I knew who it was. The next morning, I barely slept. My stomach twisted the entire subway ride. When I reached the park, Jordan was already there, hoodie up, eyes scanning every direction. He looked nothing like the easygoing guy I'd worked with. He looked hunted. "I didn't send you that email," he said, voice low. "Someone inside did. Probably the same person who helped me pull those files." "You're saying there's another leak," he nodded. "Someone in accounting. They wanted to expose her too, but they were scared. When Erica figured I was onto her, she told everyone I'd been caught stealing ad revenue. She needed you to fire me so it looked official." I felt sick. "Jordan, I'm so sorry," he shook his head. "You didn't know. But now you do. And I need your help to finish it." He slid me a flash drive. "There's a folder on this one labeled Final. If anything happens to me, send it to every board member, investor, and client contact. It'll destroy her." I stared at it, hands trembling. What's in it? He smiled sadly. Proof that she didn't just steal money. She laundered it through fake campaigns tied to politicians' accounts. She's got people who will do anything to keep her quiet. I wanted to laugh. This was bigger than just my toxic boss. This was criminal. That night I went home and plugged in the drive. The files were encrypted. I needed the password. I texted Jordan, "What's the code?" No response. 10 minutes later, a news alert popped up on my phone. Local man injured in hit and run outside Midtown Cafe. My stomach dropped. The photo was grainy, but the outline, the hoodie, the backpack, it was him. I drove to the hospital like a maniac. By the time I got there, he was conscious but barely. He looked up at me and whispered, "Don't trust anyone from the office." His hand gripped mine. "The password is her birthday." "Erica's," he nodded. Then the monitors started beeping and the nurses rushed in. I stumbled out into the hallway, heart pounding. I went home, opened my laptop, and typed the password, 07 to 19 to 82. The files unlocked. Inside were dozens of wire transfers, fake invoices, even personal messages between Erica and the CFO about covering donations. It wasn't just embezzlement, it was federal-level fraud. I didn't sleep. I compiled everything, added timestamps, and drafted an anonymous email to the company's board. But before I hit send, I heard a knock on my door. It was 3 a.m. I froze. The knocking got louder. I didn't move. After a minute, whoever it was left, but when I checked the peephole, I saw an envelope on the floor. No return address. Inside, a single sheet of paper. "We know what you have. Don't make the same mistake he did." I panicked. I unplugged my laptop, threw some clothes in a bag, and drove out of the city before sunrise. I spent the next 2 days in a cheap motel outside town, trying to decide whether to run or fight back. Then my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. A text, "If you're done hiding, check Channel 9 News." I turned on the motel TV and nearly dropped the remote. Erica was standing in front of our office building, microphones everywhere, pretending to cry. She was saying, "It's tragic what happened to Jordan. We're cooperating fully with police. He was a talented young man who unfortunately got caught up in things beyond his control." She was framing him again, publicly this time. Something in me snapped. I wasn't going to let her destroy him or me. I plugged my laptop back in, connected to the motel Wi-Fi, and uploaded the entire truth folder, recordings, spreadsheets, everything, to an anonymous file drop. Then I attached the link to a new email, to all board members, clients, and news outlets. Subject, the real story behind the Midtown marketing scandal. I hit send. The first response came within an hour. Then another. Then 20 more. Someone on the board must have leaked it to the press, because by the next afternoon, every major outlet had the story. Headlines everywhere. Marketing executive and CFO accused of embezzlement, money laundering, and fraud. Anonymous employee blows whistle on major corporate scheme. By the time I drove back into the city, police cars were parked outside the office. Erica was being escorted out in handcuffs, still in her designer blazer, screaming at the cameras. She spotted me across the street. Her eyes locked onto mine, pure hatred. "You'll regret this," she shouted as they shoved her into the car. But it wasn't over yet. 2 days later, I went to see Jordan in the hospital again. He was awake this time, pale but smiling. "You did it," he said weakly. "You brought her down." "We did it," I corrected. He laughed. "You always did finish my work." We sat there quietly, just relieved it was over. But as I was leaving, his doctor pulled me aside. "He's lucky to be alive," she said. "But there's something strange." He had a small tracking device in his backpack. "The police are investigating who put it there." I felt a chill run through me. Later that night, while packing up my desk, I found an old USB drive in one of the drawers. It wasn't mine. It had a silver leaf symbol on it, the same name as the fake consulting company. Against every instinct, I plugged it in. Inside were only two files, a blank document and a short video. The video opened to Erica, sitting at her desk, smiling. "If you're seeing this," she said, "then you think you've won. But you never asked yourself one question, did you? Who created Silverleaf?" She leaned forward, eyes glittering. "It wasn't me." The screen went black. For a long moment, I just sat there, staring. Then I noticed the file name of the video. It wasn't random. It was Klein 2. MP4. I realized what she meant. The CFO, the man who'd helped her, wasn't just an accomplice. He was the one who started it all. And she'd left me the proof. The next morning, the FBI raided his office. Turns out, he'd been laundering money through multiple branches across the country. Erica had been his scapegoat. When the news broke, she cut a deal, and my name was cleared completely. The company collapsed, but honestly, it felt like justice. I got a new job a few months later, remote work, quieter life. Jordan recovered, moved to another state, and started his own agency. We still talk sometimes, mostly to remind each other that survival can be its own kind of success. But sometimes late at night when I open my laptop, I still see that old folder, Truth. It's empty now, except for one new file that wasn't there before. It's titled Truth 2. And when I open it, it's blank. For 5 seconds. Then words appear one by one as if someone's typing live. You think the story's over, then it deletes itself. And the screen goes black.